biases wreak havoc on the workplace, and often we're not even aware of it. Let me just highlight a few ways that biases can mess us up, and there's many, many more that go beyond this. And one is that we don't hire the right people, and we often don't promote the right people, and we don't give people the opportunities that they have fits with their personality and what their skills are. And that's because biases, those inflexible beliefs, keep us from seeing people as individuals. So if you had a bias, for example, that all people over 50 are bad at technology, and you went to interview someone or consider someone for promotion and they're over 50, and you have that bias in your head, it has a peculiar way of sneaking in and coloring your perception of what they're really good at. Because in fact, they might be brilliant with technology and you can't see it. So we lose out on lots of really good people. We also create havoc in the workplace once we've hired those people, because biases create an atmosphere in which individuals aren't seen for who they are. And that causes people to leave. And this has been studied over and over again as a truth that costs American companies billions of dollars every single year. And part of that are those tiny little slights that have been called micro inequities. You may have heard that term. Those little things that human beings do to other human beings that make them feel devalued or not listened to. Oh, let me give you a silly little example. You know how crummy it feels when you're talking to someone and what you're saying is important, and they look at their watch, or they check their BlackBerry, or they take a phone call. Those are tiny things, and I don't think they're huge, awful things unto themselves, but if there's a bias in a workplace that causes people of some particular groups to feel that they're not really included, those small things add up, and they can make people feel very unsatisfied, and they can leave your organization, which is a horrible loss. Finally, and boy is this important today, the loss of innovative ideas and creativity. There's a concept called the stereotype threat. And what that basically says is that when there's an atmosphere of a bias in a workplace about a particular group, people who are members of that group get frightened, threatened after a while, and they don't want to speak up or take the initiative for fear that they might inadvertently confirm that bias. Let me give you another example. This one's particularly silly. All blondes are dumb, right? Now, most of us, I think, look at that as a joke and not as a reality, but it's an extreme example. So, if I worked in a workplace in which that belief, that inflexible belief, were dominant, yeah, if you're blonde, you know, you might look good or you might dress nice, but you're kind of dumb. And being a blonde, although not a real one, I'll have to admit to you, I'd fall victim to that. And what might happen is in a meeting, when my manager says, who's got a good idea about how to solve this problem? What kind of new products can we come up to really satisfy our customer? I might not want to speak up, because what if that idea that day was not a good one? And what if that confirms that bias that all blondes are dumb? That's just few of the many ways in which biases create havoc in our workplaces.